Welcome back to the False Prophet channel. This is Brother Jacob, and this is the False Prophet channel where we get Islam exposed and the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, exposed on a regular basis. In this episode, we will be dropping a bombshell. Okay? Now, what we have to show you tonight, no Muslim can get out of this. They can try all they like. They can try to twist it. They can try to turn it. They can try to make excuses. They can try to say it's metaphorical. They can try to say it's not literal. But what we have to show you tonight will be beyond a shadow of a doubt, a complete, total destruction of everything that Muslims have been telling us about Allah, and it will totally destroy everything that they say about Christians. You know how they try to say we are committing shirk when we associate God with God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, because they don't understand that it's not speaking about three different gods, but three manifestations of the same God. Okay. So what we have to show you tonight will completely embarrass them, and they will no longer be able to make that argument. Now, let's go ahead and show you the hadith before you. So before we even get started, it's from Sahih Muslim. It's Sahih. They can't say, oh, it's weak. It's rejected. One of the chains of narration is broken. You know, all of the excuses that you expect them to say. They say the same old tired excuses. Every time you get them busted. Oh, it's not literal. Oh, you're reading it out of context. It doesn't say that. Oh, yes, it says that. So let's show you. Now, let's read. Anas or Anas B. Malik reported that Abu Bakr Siddiq reported him thus. And it says, I saw the feet of the polytheist very close to us as we were in the cave. I said, Allah's messenger, if one amongst them were to see us at his feet, he would have surely seen us. Thereupon he said, now this is Muhammad speaking, Abu Bakr, what can befall two who have Allah as the third one with them? Oh, yes. Now, you already know where this is headed to. Now, what do the Muslims always tell us? They say, number one, they say that Allah cannot enter into his creation. They say that you are not to associate anything with Allah, because when you associate Allah with anything, when you group him with anything, that's committing shirk. Okay? Now, they also tell us that Allah is not a spirit. They tell us that Allah is not like anything in creation. They tell us that Allah does not enter creation. And they tell us that Allah, he is not a spirit, nor is he matter, nor is Allah energy. Okay? So basically, Allah is nothing unto what we see in the known universe of space and time. They say Allah is beyond space and time. Am I lying? Am I making this up? If you disagree with me, Muslims, put it in the comment section, because this is what we've been hearing all of our life. Just like recently, it's been said that the Quran has been preserved down to the single letter and dot. But just recently, Yazir Qadi just exposed Islam, and he said that there are holes in the narrative about the preservation of the Quran. So likewise, there are holes in the narrative when it comes to Allah not entering his creation, and you are not supposed to associate anything with Allah. So let's break this hadith down. Now, what do you see? It said, you have Muhammad speaking. He said, Abu Bakr, what can befall two who have Allah as the third one with them? The key word being them. Okay? Now, what is them? Them is a plural word which signifies that there is more than one person in the group. Or them can be an object. For instance, you can say, I left them by the nightstand. Like if someone said, where are my glasses? You can say, I left them by the nightstand. You get what I'm saying? But the word them, it's always something in creation. You can't have a them outside of time and space. And you can't have a them that's unlike anything in creation. You get what I'm saying? So in this reference before you, when Muhammad is using the word them, he is associating Allah with his creation. And in this particular usage of the word them, it's speaking about humans, physical beings. It's not talking about inanimate objects, like in the example of the glasses. It's speaking about human beings. Okay? It clearly says, Muhammad said, Abu Bakr, what can befall two who have Allah as the third one with them? So Muhammad associated Allah as the third one with this group. Now that creates a big problem, because the Muslims always tell us that it's beneath the majesty of God to come down into creation in the form of a man. So basically, if God comes in any form other than his majestic self, then it's beneath him. Okay? But right here, you have Muhammad identifying Allah alongside physical beings. Now, why do we say this? Because in order for you to count something in a group, it has to be what? It has to be physical, just like the things that you are counting in the group. For instance, if I said, I'm going to place 3 objects on the table. Each one of those objects, they don't have to be the same. Like for instance, I could put a pencil next to an ink pen, next to a pencil sharpener. So the 3 objects, they all fall under the category of physical, but they don't have to all be the same. You get what I'm saying? But they have to be all physical in order to be grouped as 3 objects. As 3 objects, okay? So likewise, in this hadith, you see Allah you see Muhammad grouping Allah amongst the group. Let's read it again. Thereupon he said, Abu Bakr, what can befall two who have Allah as the third one with them? Now, it didn't say as if Allah was with them. It didn't say a metaphor. It said it literally. Okay? Because we already know what the Muslims will try to do. They'll try to say, oh, this is metaphorical. Oh, it meant as if with them. But it doesn't say that. And also, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Even if they tried to use the metaphor excuse, it still wouldn't work. You know why? Because the nature of Allah is different from the nature of Yahweh. Meaning, Allah is not a spirit. So therefore, they can't even say it means that Allah is there in spirit, because Allah is not a spirit. Okay? Another reason why the metaphor excuse will not work is because they say Allah does not enter into creation. So no matter how they try to play it or spin it, it doesn't work out in their favor. And they did this to themselves by saying all of these stupid statements about, the God that they worship. By saying that our God does not enter into creation. He is not like anything in creation. He can't be associated with anything. They did it to themselves. But Muhammad, being the illiterate fool that he was, he forgot about the other things that he said. And by him forgetting, this is how you can tell when someone is a liar, because they will always contradict themselves, okay? Like you see him doing right here, okay? So clearly, this is a clear busted all day. It's no way out of this. Okay? This is clear as day. Counted him as a third one. How can you count something that's... Oh, and here's another thing. Not only that, when he said Allah is the third one with them, he also placed Allah in a location. But the Muslims say that Allah is outside of time and space. Okay? And when Muhammad said that Allah is the third one with them, that means he placed Allah. When Muhammad said, sometimes I say Muhammad when I say Allah and Allah when I say Muhammad. But really, that's not even a slip up, because really Muhammad is Allah and Allah is Muhammad. So if you hear me slip up like that, it's the same thing. Now, by Muhammad saying that Allah was with them, he placed Allah in the cave with the two men. Okay? Now, there's no way that a Muslim can get out of this, because they will have to explain, how can Allah be with them if Allah cannot enter into creation, if Allah is not a spirit, if he is not like his creation. And there's another thing. If he is not like his creation, then how can you categorize Allah as a them? You get what I'm saying? Them is always something that's created. But Allah is not like his creation, remember? So this is Muhammad himself getting his own self busted without even knowing it. This is beautiful right here. And it's funny that, it's funny how he said it like Allah as the third one. That reminds me of the Trinity. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny that this hadith is getting them busted, and they the very ones always talking about the Trinity, and it just so happens that Muhammad said Allah as the third one. You get what I'm saying? I find that to be quite hilarious. to say the least. It actually adds insult to the injury. And I'm just so happy he said it that way because it makes it even more hilarious. You get what I'm saying? So this is clear evidence that A, Allah enters into his creation. B, Muhammad committed shirk by associating Allah with his creation. And C, Muslims say that Allah is outside of time and space. He's everywhere at once. But when Muhammad said, as the third one with them, he put Allah in a location inside of the cave as a physical being. That's the only way to look at this, because any other way you try to look at it, the Muslim will have to explain how can it work in a metaphor. After everything that we explained, it's no way that it can work as a metaphor. It can only work literal. You can't even say metaphor because, again, the nature of Allah is different from the nature of Yahweh. Now, if it was speaking about Yahweh or a God that could enter into creation, it'd be a difference, because you could say, oh, it's talking about the spirit of the God is in there with the two men. You get what I'm saying? But the Muslim can't do that because they say that their God is not a spirit. And on top of that, they say that their God does not enter into creation. So this is a clear, boxed in argument that the Muslims will not be able to get themselves out of. This is clear as day that Muhammad committed shirk, and they can no longer say that Allah does not enter into creation, and they can no longer say that Muhammad is a prophet, because according to what the Quran says, shirk is an unforgivable sin. So clearly right here, Muhammad associated Allah with his creation. Let's read it again from the top. I saw the feet of the polytheists very close to us as we were in the cave. I said, Allah's messenger, if one amongst them, you see, so they try to play, even in this particular sentence, it's talking about a group of people, one amongst them who? The polytheists, okay? If one amongst them were to see at his feet, he would have surely seen us. Thereupon he said, Abu Bakr, what can befall two who have Allah as the third one with them? And here's another thing. Doesn't it sound strange? Doesn't it sound like plagiarism? You know the verse in the Bible? Thank you, Spirit. God just dropped this in my spirit. You know that verse in the Bible that says when two or more Christians come together, that God will be in the midst of those two Christians that come together? Doesn't that sound the same? So this is also a clear plagiarism at work. You see? But like we said, it works for Christianity and Yahweh because our God enters into creation. He is a spirit, so he can come into the midst. You see? But in Islam, it does not work. So here we have it. I want to keep this video longer than it has to be. Here we have Muhammad committing shirk. He's placing Allah in the group as them. He's committing shirk, breaking all of the rules that the Muslims tell us about Allah. And there we have it. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Hit the likes button, hit the share button. Memorize this argument. Take notes. I'll leave the link to this particular hadith in the comment section so you'll be able to view it for yourself, so you can use this as a witnessing tool. And the next time a Muslim try to tell you about the Trinity and we committing shirk, only thing you got to do is raise this argument to them, show them this very hadith, Show them that a metaphor escape hatch will not work. Explain everything the way I did it in this video. And I guarantee you it'll be no way that they can get out of this. So again, this is another Get 'em Busted series, and hope you enjoyed it. Tell me what you think in the comment section. And this is Brother Jacob signing out.